Chalvega?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bleep some of these.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares then?
Welcome back, everyone, to Nothing But Footy. Me and Keon exclusively in the studio. No Wilbur today. Unfortunately, not unfortunately for him, he's taken away that good weather up in, I believe he's in Queensland. So, really hope he's enjoying it up there. Sure, he'll be listening into this one.
He's got some, been doing some investigating, been doing some reporting. That's why he's up there.
He's our man on the
trying
field.
He's been trying to look for Dramara.
He actually has been searching around for him, seeing when that medical's going to go down. But it's going to be weird without him. And I'm sure whatever we say, he'll make sure that he comments on it in the next one he's here. But he'll get to be here. I believe he's here for when we wrap up the trade period.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll get to say the final laugh. Since the last time we talked, lots of trades have went down. Nothing that I feel, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Keon, nothing too big in the scope of player movement or picks. Just feels like some teams are preparing for the last day, making sure they have all their picks ready to go.
Yeah, there's been some interesting ones, some key roles, I would say, especially for Carlton. Off the bat, Liam Reedy from Fremantle, third round pick is what Fremantle receives along with a fourth round pick. So it'd be pick 50 and 68. They're basically not really worth too much. But good grab for the Blues. Reedy has kind of been stuck behind Darcy and Jackson, obviously. I think he played 3 or 4.
Yeah, played 3 games this year.
Yeah. So he'll go there with a couple other picks as well. So what's interesting is those picks kind of fall around the same area as those other picks. So it was really just a pick swap, and then Liam Reedy was involved in that as well. So you'd say Carl to win out of this. I think this will be a good move for him.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like for them to have another ruckman kind of coming up, young ruckman, 25 years old, somewhat of a more experienced ruckman, played 52 games in the VAFA. So was it VAFA?
No, Waffle.
Yeah. So as you say, you don't want to draft a ruckman, and your opinion is don't draft a ruckman. And then just following that suit. None of these teams really need the picks in terms of for other trade setups or anything, but it's interesting. As we go on, you'll notice, I feel, and you can maybe disagree, that Blues, a lot of movement from them, just, getting some fresh blood in. Onto Malcolm Ross, who moved from the Suns to the Swans.
Malcolm who?
Oh, I've got Ross here. Sorry. What was Ross?
Roses.
Roses. I've obviously just been hearing too much of Ross the boss. But yeah, Suns, what do they get? They get third round pick, which is currently 51, and fourth round, which is currently at 69. Malcolm Roses?
Malcolm
Roses. Malcolm Roses goes to the Swans along with the fourth round pick. Thoughts on this one?
No, I like it. Played back into the year in the VFL for Gold Coast in the midfield, and he was averaging a goal a game with about 30 disposals, so he's a very good player. When he comes to AFL level, though, he has his moments where I think he had a game where he kicked three and a couple bags of 2. But he's just got to kind of look to get more involved in the game. And I think something that what Sydney's going to look at doing is Papley will go a bit more into the midfield, I think, next year. So Roses will probably cover him a little bit in the forward line. And I don't know, we might see him push higher up the ground where that is into the midfield or more half forward role, but I don't think he'll be locked down in the 50. I think I don't mind it. Good trade. He obviously wants to get a chance at another club, moves to Sydney. I know Will was one keen on him, possibly going to Richmond, but he decided Sydney was going to be his new home. But yeah, could be a good one to see. Interesting one to see in some Sydney colours, because I feel like the Gold Coast colours really suit him.
Yeah, I agree. I saw him and then I was like, oh, this is work. But I don't know. I don't agree with this is off topic, but I feel like the Bloods colours sometimes compliment some people and sometimes they don't.
That's a lot with like a lot of jerseys. Without being, I mean, it's tough to say, but I think people don't look great in a Fremantle jersey. I think there's a hard jersey to look good in.
I would agree. I think the GWS is a hard one to pull off too.
Yeah, that is true. What's another one that might be hard to? Whereas
the pink Suns one, another hard one to pull off.
Oh, you reckon? So I reckon that's an easy one to.
No, I reckon it's a hardie.
I reckon, depending on the play, like seeing Houston wear Collingwood colours, that was like fine, right? We're seeing Perryman wear Collingwood colours, that was a bit weird. But it depends on where they've also played, what you're used to, because like Houston kind of wore the black, whereas
It's gonna be
Penrith went
weird.
from an orange.
It's gonna be weird for me seeing Petrarca in new colours, Clary in new, most likely in new colours, and Myercheck in some new colours. Like these are
Warple
players.
will be an interesting one in the
Warple?
hoops. In the hoops.
Yeah, but the more I look at it, like I feel good. I feel happy for the bloke. Like I didn't want him there. You know, he's out, and he seems like he's loving it. Like he, played with a few of the boys. Geelong boy, I'm guessing when it grew up with them. Like I feel happy for him, and you know, best luck to him. Hopefully he doesn't tear us apart. Next one we got in the agenda here, Judd McVie from D's to Freo. WA boy. So, you know, makes sense. D's probably wanting to, you know, clear out house a bit, get some new players in, get some picks. They're really, obviously, looking to, you know, rejuvenate the club, and maybe this is just a good chance for them to get a nice pick. Second round pick, so pick 23 at the moment. Yeah.
Do you know who Judd McVie is?
Listen, I know his face, and I think it's from a while ago when we AI generated some faces,
Okay.
and I saw him there.
Only because you say they look to rejuvenate the team. He's
23.
only his like third year.
Yeah, he's 22.
It's an interesting one. Obviously, I'm sure he wanted to go home. That was the reason. However, I'm surprised Melbourne, they got a pretty good pick for it. Pick 23. Like he had an all right year this year. Like he's a good player. For Freo, had a bit more speed behind the ball. That's probably something they looked at. They had Jordan Clark, but that was really it last year. Now they'll bring someone else on there who can use the ball quite nicely. And the D's get a pick, but I think that's one they're going to be upset that they lose. He was kind of part of their game plan, so that's one Stephen King's. He wasn't used to having it, but he's going to have to find a way to fill that hole. But interesting how the D's are going. They're really clearing it out, and they're going to go heavy at the draft, which shows, I can say this, Stephen King will be at Melbourne for minimum 3 years. And I don't think they're going to make finals for the next 2 years.
I don't feel like he's going to outlive it. Like, I feel like he's making some tough calls, some good calls, in my opinion. It was time for them to take that next step with a rebuild. But I just don't feel like he's going to be able to outlive what's coming next. It's going to be tough for them. I reckon next year, they're going to have a Richmond-like year where it's...
Yeah, but people would have said the same thing about Sam Mitchell. You got to give him time.
You know, that's a fair call.
You can't just...
That's a fair call.
I mean, Chris Fagan almost got sacked of his job 2 years in, and 7 years later he ends up as a dual premiership coach. So it's a tough one. But no,
swings and roundabouts,
once you go in and you basically say, no, we're going to rejuvenate this team, you're basically locking them in for at least 2 to 3 years minimum, regardless of what's happened. I mean, Luke Clarko, he's still in that seat. He's been there for ages. But yeah, Melbourne going to be through some tough times. And I think it shows the type of person that Max Gawn is, the fact that he's going to stay. Because I don't think he probably plays finals for the rest of his career.
I don't think he's one of those guys that kind of chases it, you know? Like, he's competitive, but I feel like he's more of a team man first.
No, he is definitely a team man first. I wonder if a deal was thrown out to him. Would he look at it? Be an interesting one to see. But
I don't think they would have even fantasized one with them. If they went to Max Gawn like, hey, mate, listen, you're moving. Like, we want you out of there. Like, we're thinking we could get some good value for you. You go somewhere else. You're going to play some great footy. Somewhere else, get a final, maybe another flag. We're going to work hard for you. I feel like he'd be like, yeah, like, I want to be here.
In all honesty.
If Sicily, I 100% think if someone came up to Sicily, back end of his career, he knew he wasn't going to play finals, he would be out of there.
Like, I look at St Kilda, right? If they wanted to go for a ruckman, Gawn would have been a good one. Gawn, Marshall, throw someone else in there along with Marshall. And, I mean, Gawn would have helped us out for the next 2 years, get a great ruckman, and they get a younger ruckman, or some three-way with De Koning goes to Melbourne, something like that.
Would you still pay him that much?
Pay him,
same as De Koning?
I would be happier paying him that much. I wouldn't pay him that much. I don't agree with how much we're paying De Koning. Yeah. I'd be happier paying Gawn that much.
On the topic of Saints, we have from the Ds, you guys get Max Heath.
Mm-hmm. No, we get rid of Max
you get rid of Heath. Sorry, apologies. Lots of cramming before this, you know. It's moving so quickly, and you just know last day of the trade period, that's when it's going to matter. So haven't really been keeping my ear to the stone, as I would like to say. But yeah, you guys go ahead and give Max Heath over.
The Moose.
You're happy for him to go? You're sad? You think it's the right call?
I mean, I'm gonna say that Marshall stays, right? So if Marshall stays, we've got 2 ruckmen through depth. We got Allison as well, so that's our 3 ruckmen. Heath, I think he's probably better than Allison, but you know, if that's what we do, get the 4th round pick for next year, which will end up probably being pick 30, 70, I'll say 81. So I mean, probably doesn't mean too much, but
Yeah.
he's an all right player.
All right, guy. I mean, well, he's going to play next to Max Gorn for the next 4 years. So, what you say? You say he'll be, if he can perform well, and Max Gorn can teach him up, as we're saying, such a monumental player, big.
Well, he's a
time
bit of a
ruckman.
bit of a different type of ruckman than what Gorn is. A bit
Wouldn't you
bigger
like that
of
though?
a
If you,
unit.
wouldn't you like that though? If Gorn can like teach him a bit of his craft, and then he brings into it some of his own different game style. So you have a
Yeah.
hybrid kind of.
I just think for what Gorn does, I do think it's like difficult for him to be able to teach someone. Like his thing is, you know, he goes behind the ball, he takes a lot of intercept marks. So he's a great ruckman with ruck craft, but one of his main attributes is his behind the ball contested marking, and I think that's a bit of a difficult one to teach other ruckmen, especially when they're a bit bigger.
Next one, D's to Saints. Oh no, sorry.
That was the one we just did.
Yeah, that was the one we just did. West Coast to Saints.
Mhm.
Liam Ryan.
Yep.
Something we've known about for a while. Happy. Glad he's
yeah,
there.
no, it's all right.
I think it's a good addition for you guys.
Oh, it's an interesting one. I mean, I don't hate it. Will sent this one to me and I went, yep, he's better than Elijah Hewitt, as the West Coast BNF says, and the Brownlow. But that'd be a good one to bring. He's obviously been in some played in a premiership, played a few finals. So, and if we come up against Collingwood, he knows how to hit Maynard hard. So that's a big one. I think he'll be good. Add a bit of speed, possibility that we can run him through the midfield as well. I do feel though it's either him or Liam Henry. So it's one of the Liams that plays, and which one it will be, I'm not
Battle of the
sure.
Henrys.
Battle of the Liams.
Oh, bloody hell. I'm on an absolute stinker.
But yeah, I don't think both of them can fit in the team, at least at the moment, unless they both fire and perform. But no, I like it. Get some depth. That's the really thing that I like with some of the trades we've made is they may not be going to play every week, but they really add depth and put the pressure on players.
Yeah,
like
good selection pressure.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And you guys have, as we've said numerous times, hit this trade period hard. And I feel like as we go on, we see you guys putting out a couple of future round. I feel like that's done from anyone that's picking up your guys' future round picks, because you'll be looking for someone a bit lower. I'd be getting whatever you can get now instead, because, and you might agree, I feel like you guys are going to be on the hot. You'll be higher than you were in the ladder this year, at the minimum. You'd say. I'd say you probably just make the 8 or just sneak out of the 8. Who knows? We could be proven wrong. But I wouldn't be going for future round picks on you guys with the list you've acquired and are acquiring.
Well, yeah. So we gave West Coast a future second round next year. So my hope would probably be that pick sort of falls after pick 35 or after a few father sons. If we can make finals, you know, let's say 5 or 6 father sons falls through. So what would be about pick 30 becomes pick 35. And then what was part of this trade for the very first time in AFL history was a future pick, which
I did see that.
is part of the 2027 draft. So that's the first one that's ever happened, which I really like because it gives a lot more leeway for these type of trades to happen. I know like the what's his name, Barras one last year almost didn't happen. Hawthorn had to give up quite a lot for it, whereas they could have given up what they had for next year's draft as well last year. So I like you can now go 2 years in advance. We obviously see in American sports you can go 3 years in advance. But I like it. Something good that we're bringing to the sport, and it just allows more sort of trades that happen that are probably a bit more fair or are able to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. And as that spreads out more, we're going to see better trades come through and a more busy trade period.
It's also one of those ones, though, that as a club you can very mess up.
Yeah, well,
like if part of the merit trade, right? I'm just going to make one up. Let's say you go Mackenzie, future first, future second, future first, future second, and then you have to throw something else in there. Like you're now banking on merit to be like.
and if we bomb,
exactly.
it's just not. Well, how do we get? Because we got Carlton's one this year, and you look at that in retrospect, and I go, how good? Like, I'm pretty sure we got it last year from trade swaps we did to get Barras. And
Mhm.
you look at that and you go, how good? What? I think we got 7 and 14 or something, which is grouse because that's great bargaining chips that we can use now. But for them, they were thought, oh, it's fine. Like, that's a low level pick. We're going to do fine next year. But we've just taken advantage of that and really caught them with their pants down, if you ask me personally. On the topic of the Blues, Campbell Chesser?
Yep, Campbell Chesser.
Campbell Chesser from West Coast to the Blues. Victorian boy, so I probably wanted to come back. See the family. West Coast get picks 41 in return, so a second rounder. Not much to say about this guy. Really, 2-year deal left, so you reckon they'll want to see him on after that?
Depends how he plays. I mean, he was a player that he didn't get too much opportunity, did in the back end of the year, but we never saw exactly too much from him that they probably hoped at West Coast.
Yeah, only 36 games, I believe 18 or close to that this year, maybe a bit less.
And then the year before that, I don't think he actually played a single game. So it's something, it's an all right trade. I'm not going to say it's amazing. What is pick 41 at the moment. So I can kind of go, West Coast probably won that a little bit more, I reckon, at the moment. But it's definitely what I can see turning into. He can be a good player. Where does he fit into that team? I'm not sure he can really get in that midfield. Can he get in the half forward? Maybe. But yeah, we'll see what happens come preseason.
Yeah. Watch that space, I guess, with a player that's kind of going under the radar. Might be able to soar above with their list. They are making some moves to the team. Keeping on with the Blues theme, Ben Ainsworth and Corey Dutton. This trade, 3-way trade. You had Blues, Suns, and Port in there. So I'll break it down for everyone listening along. So the Blues get Ben Ainsworth from the Suns and a 4th-round pick from Port. They give Corey Dutton and Durden, apologies, and a future next year 2nd rounder. The Suns get a 2nd rounder from Port, which is currently pick 29, and they give Ben Ainsworth. Port gets Corey Durden, and they go ahead and get a future 2nd-round pick tied to the Blues. They obviously give a 2nd-round pick, which is 29, and a 4th round, which is 67. Good
Big
pick.
one.
It's a big one.
Big one. There's another big one that came through, which got more picks involved in it, so that one would be a tough one. But I don't know, I feel like this is sort of a
It doesn't feel like a lot's going on here.
win-win for, I guess, all of them. West Coast, I am not exactly a massive fan of Ainsworth. So I think for Gold Coast to be able to get pick 29 for him, they've done pretty well there. Carlton, obviously, they're going to lose Corey Durden and a 2nd-round pick next year, 2nd-round pick. Get the Ainsworth and a 4th-round pick. We'll forget about that one for the moment. So they get Ainsworth, who, I don't know, who's better, Ainsworth or Durden? You'd probably say Ainsworth just because he's probably a bit more reliable.
Yeah, he played for 24 games this year, 23 goals. When you go to Durden, you go, he played 64 games for the Blues in total and only 16 this year. So I'd probably say Ben Ainsworth for where they're at. Feel like they might be needing a bit of reinforcement in the forward line too, considering what might come for them. Maybe just looking out their options, scouting, seeing who they can get cheap and probably build up.
Port Adelaide, again, they just keep taking these shitty half forwards that just clog their list that hope turn into something good that I don't think they will. It's like they go down to Ballarat, they go down to the gold mine, they get their little sieve out and they're like sieving through. Oh, half forward from a Melbourne team. Oh, half forward from another Melbourne team. Oh, a winger. Oh, yeah, here we go. And none of them turn out to be gold. It's just some little rock that looks yellow.
That's a unique analogy, but it fits perfectly in this scenario. One that I wish Will was here to comment on, considering it's his boys. So from the Tigers to the Eagles, the Tigers go ahead and get a 2nd-rounder with pick 38 at the moment, I believe, and West Coast get Tyler Young. I honestly couldn't tell you what this guy's face even looks like.
Yeah, that one happened today. Will's big fan of him. So
Is he actually?
He is, yes.
Will he be gutted then?
Yeah, well, he spoke about it last week. Not sure if you listened.
We speak about a lot of Richmond players that I kind of just zone out for, if I'm totally honest. It'll come to bite me in the ass at some stage.
Richmond get pick 38. I don't think pick 38 to them means much when they've got how many high picks they do have at the moment. But disappointing one. I think there's a couple other players that they would have rather get rid of than him. Unfortunate. But yeah, they lose him. They delisted Blight. Wonder if they start to regret delisting Blight after this trade. Although they probably knew this was coming anyway, but it's an interesting one. They do have a lot of tall defenders. Some other trades involving a big pick one. We've got an Eagles, Brisbane Lions, and Fremantle trade. Now this one's big, so let's sit through this one. Eagles receive Brendan Starcevic, a first round pick, which is currently pick 12.
From Freo, correct?
Yep. And a third round pick, which is currently pick 52. Now they have to give up pick 16, 22, and 23. So if we look at it, right, Starcevic, we'll call him the pick 22 and 23, right? And we'll call the pick 16, which they get rid of, and they receive pick 12 along with the third round pick. We'll add those together. So I think that's a pretty fair trade, in all honesty. Sits pretty well. Hopefully Brandon Starcevic doesn't have any concussion problems going over there, but we'll see what happens.
Some people have been ropeable that picked him up.
No, if West Coast fans are not happy that they got Brandon Starcevic,
I've seen so many people being like, we cannot pick up someone that is this close to being medically retired.
Oh, it's a risk you gotta take.
They're like, if he's medically retired, like it's ridiculous. I've seen some people be absolutely ropeable, all shut down by what you're saying very soon after. But some people just are so scared that he's going to get medically retired and they're just going to have to cop the blunt of it, basically.
Well, the fact that he comes in and he becomes, I'd say, probably has the second best resume on that team after Baker. I put Graham probably a little bit lower. Then for Brisbane, they receive 2 first-round picks, which are currently the 16 and 22, and 2 third-round picks, which are currently 44 and 50. They lose Starcevic, pick 19, pick 46 and 52. So we'll cancel out the 46 and 52 that they give up with the 44 and 50 that they give. Now they lose Starcevic. However, they receive 16 and 22, so involve them plus that pick 19. Then we've got Freo, who were just part of this to make this a bit of an easier trade, who, in my opinion, I think
come out of it quite well.
They do. Now, they give up pick 12, but receive pick 19 along with 23. So drop back a little bit more, but able to pick 2 players. I don't think for them it's going to matter too much. They're not really looking too much at the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if these players maybe get involved in maybe a part of another trade to maybe get a bit higher, backup or use it for some other players. And then a shitty third round pick along with they lose 44 and 50. So that's that. But the main one is Starcevic goes, go win 2 premierships at a club and fuck off to the worst team. You gone from the best team to the worst team. Let's see
it's
how
going to be a shit feeling for him, eh? I didn't even think about that.
It's going to be a different feeling. He'll go from training with like some of the best some of the best players, probably mans up on Charlie Cameron every week to the next week, who's he manning up on? Bloody Ned Long. Like, geez, there's a big difference there. Other trades, Saints, we obviously got Sam Flanders.
Yep, sorry.
Gave up pick 7 for him. Love it.
That's a good one.
Very good one.
That's worth this pick 7 in my
Real
opinion.
happy with it. Came out and said that Naz signing was a real big reason for him to want to come. So that just shows, I'm going to put it out there, we are a destination club now.
I think the term is Naz is a destination club.
Well, yeah. But no one can tell me different now. I mean, the players that we've signed, I like it. We might have ruffled a few feathers across some other clubs that aren't very happy with us, along with possibly Rowan Marshall, but I believe he will stay at this point. So if he does stay, I'm going to be very confident in what we can do come next year and in the future. But I really like Flanders. He can literally play anywhere on the field, whether you want him in the midfield, whether you want him at half back, whether you want him at half forward. He's your swing man, which is really good for a team that as long as well you can swing Naz. We can put him at full forward and he'll win you a game. Put him in the midfield, he'll win you a game. And we know what he can do at halfback, an All-Australian halfbacker. So I really like what the team we have is building. Another one, big one, Oscar Allen goes to the Brisbane Lions. So a team that win the premiership with their two key forwards being the ages of 20 and 19, or maybe even 19 and 18. Now go and get Oscar Allen, who I don't know what he does, but he would raise the average age of that forward line
No, how
for
old
key
is he?
forwards by quite a lot. And he's not even that old. I believe he's 25.
We'll find that one out real quickly.
He is 26.
Okay, so not even what? He's what you said 20 and 19.
Yeah. Or I think it's 18 and 19. So he raises it by a
The
couple
big
years
brother.
there. He will be. And West Coast received a compensation pick 2. Obviously, because they do have pick 1. So they'll get 1 and 2. Can it be interesting to see what they do with these picks? Whether
They've
teams,
got some good picks.
they
They've got a
will,
lot
but
of good picks too.
they'll have. I reckon they'll get rid of one of them. Some team will ask them for one of these picks, and I think that they will do. I think they'd rather go and get, let's say, a 6 and 7 versus having, like, let's say, the pick 2. But we'll see what happens there. I don't think they won't give up pick 1 definitely, but pick 2
No,
is
I
a
think
possible
pick
one
2's
they-
on the
they could.
chopping block.
Yeah.
Brody Mychek, another one that's gonna head away from the Pies off to the D's. D's, bit of a sweetener in there, so they also got a third round, which is currently at pick 71. And what did Pies get? The Pies got a future third round,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe they also
61.
and also a current third round. You'd be pretty happy taking a future third round from the D's, in my opinion. Could be one of the juicier ones, maybe a pick 3, 4, 5 towards the end of the year. So you'd be happy taking that one. I'd also be pretty confident bringing in Myercheck. I don't feel like it's a long-term solution, but I feel like it's going to be something that's going to provide them a bit more confidence up forward. Would you tend to agree?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel with this one because what they need like a big contested mark, and what Malcolm did in that month where he was on fire is what he was. But I mean, he's of age. My checks of age, like it's a aging forward line. He's not a big pack breaker. He's a nice leading.
Yeah, he's a nice
sort
lead.
of forward. And with what they're getting rid of, and I don't think they're not really bringing anyone in that is an amazing kick. So it's kind of that dump ball in the forward line. That's not really what the forwards that they have to do at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'll just keep saying it. It's going to be a tough time for the D's. Feel sorry for them.
They'll all be up in their ski
Um,
lodges though. It'll be fine.
But, they're Jack Viney 3-vote game. Hopefully he can pull that up every week next year, being that he'll probably be their only midfielder. But yeah. Any other trades?
Tyler Young. No, we did
yeah.
that one. Brody Wilbard.
We'll get to that one.
Oh.
We've got GWS. What's this one? Sorry, just being given a false
False
trade.
information. There was one that was
Yeah.
just trade swaps.
Oh, okay. No, here we go. It just wasn't listed properly. So the Bulldogs trade pick 12 to GWS for pick 14 and 37. So they just get a little bit higher up in that draft order. And then pick 37 is then part of a different trade, separately used by the Dogs to go to Gold Coast to get Connor Buderick. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 trade, not together, but
They've
Yeah.
separated it.
they separated it.
GWS doesn't get to be part of it.
No. But
The unsung
I
hero.
feel like they've done all right. They lose pick 12. They go back 2 spots, but they also get 37, which
Is it
I'll
not
say
27?
Nah, it's 37.
No.
Which will become probably 44, I would say. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Moving into some other trades. This is just like, I don't know how to describe this one, because this is basically just getting thrown shit in your face. Like, humiliated. Will Brodie today goes to Port Adelaide for a 6th round pick of pick 103.
I'll be honest, I don't even know it went to 6 rounds, Keon.
Um,
I thought it was 4 rounds at max.
well, normally it doesn't go to 6 rounds. Normally teams sort of like go, oh no, there's no point at this point. Wow, this, yeah, they may as well have just given him to him. Like it's just
they
like,
just said they didn't want to pay him out.
yeah, it's just disappointing. He's such a good player. I think he'll have a pretty good season. He'll play majority of the games for Port Adelaide. We saw what he could do 2 years ago in that Fremantle midfield. Can easily average the 25 touches. When he wants to, he's a good midfielder. Just always been a good player in the waffle, but big punch in the face. Disappointing to see from a player that I do like a lot. He'll go to his 3rd club. Obviously started at Gold Coast, moves his way to Port Adelaide. But Ollie Wine's out for the first 2 weeks, so he'll have a lot to show first 2
He'll
weeks.
have
of the year.
opportunity.
He'll start, no doubt, and I think he'll hold that spot, but we'll see what happens.
That concludes all the current trades, but there's a lot looming. There's a lot looming, and I'm excited. Wednesday, you're just going to see me in front of a computer, see me have trade radio on, taking notes for the boys, just watching some players come through. Now, the first one, which I feel is the safest to say it's going to get through, is Petrarca. So Petrarca wants to head over to the Gold Coast, obviously. We discussed last week, but met with, what was it, Adelaide, Gold Coast. Decided Gold Coast is going to go there. Now they're working through trying to get him over there. D's pushing hard to get Bailey Humphrey, which, can I just say, Bailey Humphrey, bit of a weird cat from how he's going about this. Basically, his management team saying, I don't want to do, we're not going to meet with anyone. Then he's meeting with people in public places, very public places. We talk about Sam Mitchell going to a coffee shop with Zach Merritt and Oscar Allen. It was a bit different with that. They're just walking around a park. May as well bring the dog, throw a frisbee, take some flicks while we're there. And then he puts up his post. Have you seen this on Instagram?
No.
He put up a post of I'm from Mully.
Yeah, I have seen this.
And then kind of looks like he was just touring around Vic and such. It was very weirdly timed, if you ask me. But yeah, D's were pushing for hard to have him on there. Wanted basically, I'm pretty sure, a pick or maybe 2 picks and him for Petrarca. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. They basically keep on saying he's going to be playing with us next year. 2026, I don't know. 2027, I reckon he won't be at the Suns, but we'll see how that goes. Petrarca, I don't know what they're talking up at the moment. I think it's maybe. What have you heard? What have you heard?
I don't know how this trade's entirely gonna get done. I mean, it'll happen. What'll it involve is a lot of picks. I can tell you that. But I mean, I think Humphrey has to be involved in it. They say it's not. He doesn't want to, but I think it'll happen. He'll be part of it. Yeah, it's a tough one. D's obviously the thing is I think he will go, but the D's never said you're not playing for us next year. They still have said if a trade can't happen, you will play for us next year.
Which would be, I don't feel like that's going to benefit them at all. Like they're trying to move on with almost this new era, you'd say, and they're trying to get rid of some of those. I feel like talent's going to overshine what they're working on. And if you got like a Petrarca there, it's going to be good, but he's going to be just wanting success, and they're going to be like, hey, mate, we're kind of just wanting to build from where we are right now.
Yeah, but if you hold on to him, what he can do is he can build those players and fast track them. What, let's say, would have taken, Langford and those younger boys, let's say 3 years without him, it might turn into a year and a half type of thing, especially if Clayton Oliver is to leave. So,
do you feel like that he's going to be that type of player in his career at this stage? Like he obviously doesn't want to play for the D's anymore. We know he had that fallout and wanted to move last year with what happened with him medically. Do you feel like he's going to be able to, buckle up and kind of bring some of these boys through, show that leadership, that bit of grit? Or do you think he's going to just be like, yeah, listen, this year I'm going to play my best footy possible. That looks better if we're all better, and then I'm going to try and get traded again next year?
I honestly couldn't tell you. This is the way I look at it, right? Trade happens. Don't know how it happens if they say Bailey Humphries isn't part of it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Uh,
I feel like it'll end up happening, and the Sun.
Like
'Cause I
because
feel-
they've got pick 7 and 8, right? And 15 and 18. I think all of them can probably accumulate to be part of Petrarca. And you're the
I feel like
D's and you.
I feel like 3 or 2 of them.
Well, I'd say 7, 18, and 18 then. 7, 8, and 18.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair.
The D's would be very happy with that if they can get pick 7 and 8. But I don't think Gold Coast want to give that up. So someone has to be thrown in there, and I think it'll be Bailey Humphrey. If it's Bailey Humphrey, then I think it'll be what I think it'll be.
I think it's 16.
7 and
You still think it's 7?
yeah, a 7 and a 29.
It'll be interesting.
No, 7 and 18.
You know, someone mentioned this to me the other day about what's happening with the Ds, and they pointed the finger at one man, and I want to hear your opinion on this because I think this will be interesting. They pointed the finger at Max Gawn, saying that the club basically has been ill-disciplined because they believe that Max Gawn's just a nice guy. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
What do you mean?
Well, okay, we look at Clary, right? Clary steps out of line a lot, and he basically feels like he's not wanted and that he's mistreated, which he was, and the club doesn't need him. They said that what should have happened is Max Gawn should have pulled him aside and told him basically, you just need to pull your head in. Like, we want you here. It's your actions that are causing, like, you know, a bit of like brutal honesty, but from like a co-player.
Yeah, but you don't know that he might have said that.
He might have said that, and I'm not saying he hasn't. Same with Petrarca, kind of a thing of a bit of brutal honesty from that coach saying you need to like lead, because from what he appears in the media, from how he interviews, from how he talks about even that Stephen May altercation, where they basically, there's footage of them kind of getting into it, and he goes, oh, it was something else. Realistically, I think that he is a bit of a nice guy, but I don't know if he's the reason to blame for the way they've kind of went downhill.
No, I think if anyone's blaming Max Gawn for the reason they've gone downhill, they don't know football. I think he's probably one of the reasons why all of this hasn't blown up even more. I think if he wasn't there, I think we would have seen not Petrarca get traded, Petrarca not really play this year because he didn't really want to play after everything that happened. I think we would have seen Clayton Oliver probably not play as many games as he did as well. Like, I think he's been able to hold them together.
But is there a difference between holding a team together or making them improve?
I think it's also, I mean, you can't blame it on the captain. Like,
Those
two players right there are leaders. You look at Stephen May, he's a leader as well. You've got to look at your coaching staff and Jack Viney as well, players like that, because, you know, it's not just the captain. The captain has the crown on his head, right? But, I mean, he's not the one who is...
No, he's not
you can't just blame it all on him.
He's not the say-all and end-all, but that's just something that I had heard someone discuss and just wanted to float that by you and see what you thought. On the topic of Melbourne, we'll keep going with Clary. Wow, has it turned bitter, in my opinion? Have you seen the interview of him in the van?
Mm-hmm.
For any of the listeners, basically he's getting interviewed in a van. Who was next to him, you know? I think it was maybe his manager.
I don't think it was his manager, but I'm not sure who it was.
I think it was someone important enough. And they're going, oh, what do you think of GWS's facilities? And he's going, oh, better than Melbourne's. And then I think something rough along the same line was asked about Collingwood. Who's the front runner to get him? GWS or Collingwood, in your opinion? Actually, let me rephrase that. Who needs him for more?
Who needs him more?
Who needs him
Collingwood
more?
needs him more.
Who do you reckon he'll go? Should he go to?
Who should he go to? He should go to Collingwood.
Okay. I think he'll play better football at Collingwood, but I don't know how he'll go still being somewhat in the spotlight. Because if you go to a GWS, you're a bit of a nobody over there. You know what I mean? They're not footy centric. It's not part of the footy bubble. Moving out,
Yeah, but
head out of the limelight.
GWS aren't that team. Like they don't. Well, from what we've seen in their short tenure, they're not the team that goes and gets these questionable players. They're a bit more of pristine looking type of team.
They still want him though.
No, I know they do, and I don't think he's a worry. In all honesty, but I think Collingwood, because I don't think he would want to leave Melbourne. That's just from what I reckon. And I think for someone like him, he'll look at it, go, "No, there's a good spot in this team for me." I don't think there is entirely an amazing spot in the GWS lineup for him. He'll fit into Collingwood straight away, and I think Collingwood could sell it really well. Of like, you and Nick Dacos together, like, you can really build something.
I think that, yeah. I think GWS is probably going to be better for him to get him out of the limelight. But if he wants to push into it and go...
But I don't think limelight's a problem for him.
I feel like it is. I feel like the more you keep him kind of away from trouble, kind of away from those mental demons that sometimes he goes through in his own head, that he'll be a better player. But I feel like wherever he plays next year, watch out. Because he's got that monkey off his back of this club doesn't want me. He goes, someone actually wants to have me. I'm going to work hard to prove it for them. And we're just going to see him, in my opinion, have a big, big, big year next year because of what he's capable of and what he's able to do if someone actually backs him in. And not like we'll back you in because no one else is really good. No one else really knows what they're doing and you might show some potential. But we want you here and we're going to give you the artillery like a Nick Dacos to tear it up. Anything else you want to say on that? No. Another one, Charlie Curnow. Right now, as we speak, at the Sydney Swans facility, checking them out, seeing how they are. Do you reckon he makes his way over there to the Harbour?
Again, what do they got? 11, 32, 60. Don't know. There's probably a player involved in it.
There most certainly, I think, will have to be a player.
And it'll probably looking like it'll be Hayward, I'd say it. Or he's been trying to get to talks of him going to Collingwood. So whether that becomes a 3-way trade, possibility. But I don't know.
Do you like him at Swans?
It's a tough one to say just because we didn't see their forward line this year. I mean, Amadi and McDonald were injured, so we didn't see what their forward line actually looks like. So come next year, if he does go there, it's literally a forward line that, one, we didn't see those two players play together for more than 3 weeks. Well, I don't think McDonald actually played all year, so we didn't see them play at all. Then you had Curnow, so it's like, we haven't seen this group play ever. So that'll be an interesting one. They got rid of Buller. I think that shows you something, like they really want Curnow, the fact that they got rid of Buller. But then the other thing is, if they do bring Curnow in, you've got Amadi, you've got McDonald, you've got Curnow, right? And then Grundy's your ruckman. Neither of those three are really your second rucks. I mean, Amadi probably could be, but he's not that great in the midfield, so you'd want McLean to play. And it's like, well, if McLean plays, then probably Amadi doesn't play, which, I mean, Amadi has his ups and downs. I think 9 goals is something that's looked at quite heavily, which probably overshadows at times how bad he can be. So, yeah, if he goes there, will he go there?
I think he ends up there.
No, I don't think Carlton are willing enough to get rid of him.
I think they are. The way they're moving in this trade period feels very like, we want to get some new blood in here. And we're willing to make sacrifices for it. Nothing huge so far.
No.
I feel like he ends up there.
No.
He definitely doesn't end up at Geelong.
No, he won't be at Geelong.
He cannot end up at Geelong, but I don't know. Watch this space. I feel like him being at the facilities is a big move. What, is he just talking there about what they can give up? There was talk of a player moving across. I forget who. But it'd have to be a player and a pick.
Yeah. No, I just...
A player and a second rounder. What has Sydney got to give? They got 10, 30, and 49. I feel like 10's probably too much if they give a player in. 30's all right if they give a player. Or they could give a low level bloke for 10.
Nah, just will it happen? I don't know. No, you know what? It will happen.
Oh, you're on my side now.
I think it will.
For what are you thinking? Player and
Ollie Florent
Ollie Florent.
and pick. What do they got?
They got 10, 30, and 49.
11.
Pick 11?
Yeah,
I would have
Florent,
fluctuated since the last time.
Florent and 11, I reckon. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, my boy, Zachary Merritt, the boy that's basically in the golden brown already. In my mind, he's one of us. And I just hope we can bring that to reality. We're working hard on it, all in the shadows. This will be the last one coming through in the trade period. This will be the one we talk about for a while, but I just got a feeling it's going to happen. And I don't know what we give up for it. Because realistically, we've got nothing. It has to be a player. Sam Mitchell's got to go behind someone and tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, mate, you're about to go to Essendon and we're about to get Zach Merritt. Because with our picks, we got picked like, I think, 8 and 14 or something like that. Or like 8 and 19. I don't know. We got Carlton's picks. That's all that matters. Sorry about that. But yeah, I feel like we can't get across the lines with those 2 picks. Do you agree?
No, you can't.
So in that regard, then we have to go ahead and we have to give a player across. And I look at some of our players. We've said no to Harry Hustaway, which I don't know. If he's not going to get a spot on the team, I'd rather get him to get Merritt. But if we're going to start working him through the team, I'm fine with that. Jai Sarong, where was he headed again? Forget where his talks were.
Jai Sarong's leaving?
Yeah, there's talks of him going somewhere else. I don't know exactly where, but there are talks of him heading off. I'd be fine sending him off for Merritt. Merritt in pick 8, I'm comfortable with that. You? Thoughts?
No.
No?
That's slap in the face to Essendon.
Well, we're in a starting place here, but I'm glad the talks are happening. We know talks are happening.
If I was Hawthorn, I personally, if I was Hawthorn, I wouldn't want the trade to happen.
But we need I would like a midfielder. On my Christmas list,
I'd say wait till next year.
And what? Pick up
Butters.
Butters is dogs. I've heard Butters is basically
No.
sealed and delivered to dogs. I actually heard
He won't fit there.
Yeah. I was going to say, I heard from someone's Instagram story who drinks with the cousin of his, I know someone who knows someone. But what? So you wait for Butters?
Yeah. The Merritt one, I just don't think what Hawthorn are saying they're going to give up, right, is one, they don't have enough to give it up, in my opinion. So you got to bring another club involved. There's a lot of talks that St Kilda are going to get involved in it. So we'll see what happens there.
Just butter out of our deals.
If your deal won't happen.
It's our deal.
The only way I see this happening if it's a 5-team deal. There's a lot of magnets that got to be moved around. I don't think it can be a straight change. I don't know, because he's 30 years old. So it's like, doesn't have amazing.
At max, we get a good 3 years out of him. Would you say more? Less?
Yeah, a good 2 years, I'd say.
I feel like
because he's a player that gets banged up a lot, so I just don't think he's got enough left. But the other thing is we do see players lasting a bit longer, so you put a bit of that tax on it. So we'll say maybe 3 years. But I would rather you'd wait Butters. Butters would be 24 years old then, and you got to play for the next 10 years after that.
I still think we'll go after Butters though, realistically. But we'll go after.
And how the fuck are you going to do that
with all the coin we've got?
All right, so
we offered Harley Reid 1.7 million.
Trade Butters. What are you going to give up for Butters?
Why are we trading for him? He's out of contract next year.
Yeah, but you have to give something.
I don't know. We'll give him something.
You can't. You've got nothing left.
We'll find something. Someone will
You've literally got nothing left.
Well, what do we have to do? He's not restricted, is he?
He would be.
Ugh. Well, that makes it difficult. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm just excited, like a kid in a toy store, just hoping that I'll walk out of there with Zach Merritt.
Oh no, I think Hawthorn and you Hawthorn fans are going all over this Zach Merritt, trying to make it bigger than what it is. I don't think it's be all or end all.
I don't know. I just feel like we just want something new in the midfield, and I feel like it'd be nice to have a little Merritt there. Yes, realistically, we get Will Day back. Hopefully, we wrap him up in cotton wool and he becomes an indestructible man, but that's not realistic. Can Nuke, stay on the same path that he was putting through in finals and just be that absolute weapon? Who knows? I'd be so happy if that could happen. But who would you see us willingly, and I know I'm very Hawk centric right now, willingly getting rid of to get in this Merritt trade? We'll give him a first round pick and a sweetener. Who's the sweetener?
I think pick 9's got to go a future first, along with
If we gave him, because CJ wants out, could we give him CJ and one other person?
could do CJ. CJ pick 9 future first. 31.
Yeah, maybe we bring a third club into this.
Would you go 31 or would you go future?
We'd want a future. We'd want a handaway future, in my opinion.
I'd say CJ 9 future first 31.
I'd be all right getting rid of CJ. He doesn't really like he's part of the Hawks DNA, I feel, in some ways, in the kind of that movement. But in the same kind of strain, I feel like we need to move to more classier players at times.
Yeah, but I think that's, if you were to get rid of CJ, I think that's a player that you look at and go, oh, maybe we did actually need him. Sort of the swing man, he can go on the wing, he can go half back.
Yeah,
He's got the speed.
I do agree with you. I just think I've been burnt with him the last few times. We've brought him on as a sub, and he's just come into a game that's probably where he's just not been through it from the start, where he's just kind of came in and the pressure was so high, the speed was so high, and he just wasn't kind of tempered up to it.
Yeah, I think he's been done dirty last year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but I have heard that he wants to head Blues way, so not this year, but next year I think we won't be seeing him play for us. Few other names. Jai Simpkin. We said last week there was no interest. Collingwood kind of making a bit of push for him. Good move for Collingwood.
Nah.
Good move for Jai Simpkin.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he gets a game consistently if he gets there?
Yeah, he would. Oh, look, it depends on how they want to roll. I guess it depends if Oliver goes there or not. I mean, if they pick him up, yeah, he'll roll through the midfield a bit, but again, he's probably not that star. They need another star, a ball getter. He's probably not that. He would fit in there. What they asking for 2 first, is it?
I haven't actually seen what they're asking for him yet. I just know from last week where we were, when they said there was no interest from him at all, Collingwood's kind of pricked up, probably because they can get him cheap, which they need at the moment with how their list is shaping up to be. They're also looking to offload Degoe, I think.
Well, yeah. Well, there's reports again. I mean, there was talks about it last year about him coming to St Kilda. There's talks about it again.
Do you want him there?
No, I don't think. I'd take him. I don't think he'll leave though.
Yeah, I think he's one of those like Collingwood players. You know, I feel like Collingwood's probably got one of the best grips on their players where it's like, just stay here because you want to end your career starting and finishing at Collingwood, or you want to finish your career at Collingwood. Probably, you'd say they're the biggest club. You wouldn't count West Coasts in this. You'd say
No.
they're the biggest club.
Yeah.
They're probably the big 2, you'd say. Them and who else? Victorian club. You'd say
Well,
Richmond on a good day.
Yeah, you'd say Richmond.
Yeah, you'd say
and then-
Richmond.
Or just off recency bias, then you'd go. Then it probably falls down to the next level of Carlton.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to finish your career at Carlton with the way they're going at the moment. The fans would actually eat you alive. There's one more I was thinking of. completely escaped my mind. Is there any other players you've kind of heard their name flip up that you want to talk about? Oh, Ron Marshall. You reckon he stays?
I think he'll stay.
Because he can't get. Well, you guys were offered pick 19, I believe, for him, and you guys said no. Do you reckon he'll stay because he's basically forced to?
Yes. And
Do you
not
reckon-
that he's forced to. I think the selling him of what we're building can still, and we'll tell him, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to play you. I think it will come. I think, I know it's a tough one because it's always hard when a player requests the trade to a club because that means like, oh no, we're being serious. However, I think it can be swapped, but I just 19 and probably
What player would
they
you
don't
take?
go all to 40. I wouldn't take a player.
No.
19. No, I think 19's like actually not horrible. Maybe involve it's tough to say with Geelong because you want to say a second rounder as well, but that second rounder becomes pick 40. So it's like, well, there's no real point. So they probably would just throw that in for the sake of it. But
Surely, I say that we've said this for a while. Would you take like a future 2 round, like in 2 years, like 2027, considering at some stage they have to fall down?
but it's Geelong, they don't fall down.
Yeah, but they have statistically what comes up must come down. So I think I've
Well,
just got
statistically, it hasn't happened for 20 years. So.
yeah. Well,
What you're saying, the only way with what you're saying would make sense, which if you said it this way, would have made more sense, was you can't get any worse than what it is right now. So you may as well just go, oh yeah, throw a future in there just for the sake of it. Like,
well, you've taken
Worse
what I
for
was
wear.
saying and made it much better. You've given it a nice polish. So I'm
the only
appreciative
thing
of that.
with all these futures that are being thrown around is that I think we're all forgetting about this whole Tasmania shit that's happening. Because that throws in like an extra 6 picks. So let's say what was a future second rounder, let's say that's a future second rounder for a team that finished on top of the ladder is pick 36. We'll then throw in the extra 5 picks that Tasmania had. That becomes pick 41. Then we'll throw in probably the next another 5 father sons and academy. I'll say 6 of them actually. So it becomes pick 47. So you're looking at the end of the second round, most likely won't come to about pick 45. So the only thing I think with these picks nowadays is because there's so many father sons, and I think their academies and what we're able to see through all these different pathways, we're getting a lot of players now from pick sort of 30 to 50 that are actually becoming good football players, and which they probably weren't 15 years ago. So I think that these, as much as we do shit on, pick 40, that's not really that much. I think those picks are actually becoming quite useful nowadays because you can find some very good hidden gems in them.
Yeah, no, interesting play out with, as you said, the picks getting pushed back later with the Tassie and also all the academies. I think we'll wrap it up there. I'm just going to go through some names, quick fire for you, and you're just going to say stay or leave. So we'll go Zach Merritt. Quick fire, not thinking about just whatever's on the top of your head.
Stay. And the top of my head says stay.
Charlie,
Goes.
Clary,
Goes.
Petrarca.
Goes.
Oh, we didn't talk about Jamara, but Jamara.
Jamara goes. Or I haven't heard too much about Jamara this week.
I can give you the wrap up. Basically, he met with the leadership team, met with the senior members of the Suns, getting a medical. They're talking about basically making sure there's clauses in the contract.
It's a tough one. Depends what happens if they do get the clauses. I'm going to say he's there, but I can also see a world where he just doesn't play football next year.
Who else we got? I said Clary. DeGoey stays.
Yeah.
Jai Simpkin.
Goes.
Bailey Humphrey.
Goes.
I think that's about it. Do you think anyone else on the chopping block?
Oh, I feel like we've covered
Covered a lot of players.
most players, to be honest. There's a bit of talk, obviously, about Will Haywood. He's a possibility, either Carlton or Collingwood. He's one to throw out there. Who else you got? James Rowbottom is another one. talks to him going to Collingwood. Craig McRae actually spoke to him supposedly, so we'll see what happens there. And then what else you got? Ashcroft signed a
Which one?
long-term extension, the Norm one. So it gets him to end of 2030. And then he'll become a free
Tassie
agent
extension?
back then. Yeah, to cover him for that. What else we got? Well, let's talk about some of the picks, right? Because we're in a really weird situation at this point in the draft, where the first 8 picks of the draft only are in the hands of 4 clubs, which isn't something you see too often. So West Coast 1 and
Tigs.
2, Richmond 3 and 4, Essendon 5 and 6, Gold Coast 7 and 8.
You'd say 7. They don't end up with them though.
Well, yeah, it depends on what happens. But at the moment, that's how it stands. Now, if the merit trade was to happen, then you'd throw pick 9 in there as well. So then Essendon most likely can end up with 3 picks inside the top 10, which for them would be very good. And then I think what could happen is they might trade 2 of those to West Coast to try and trade up and get pick 2 or 1 in that draft. Couple of teams that, we're not hearing too much in the trade movement. Adelaide, not doing much.
I think they got burnt from Petrarca. Feel like they're a bit upset.
They're still recovering from that one, you reckon?
Yeah, I feel like they were kind of banking on that one. This was the one that couldn't miss, and it did miss. And now they're just going, well, what do we do now?
That's really it, to be completely honest. I think Geelong, they're probably done as well with what could happen. So those 2 teams, apart from that, we've got a very heavy trade period. I am predicting we're going to get a big mega trade to come through, though.
How many clubs?
I think there's a 5 clubber in there.
There's a 5 club. I can see a 4. I can see a 4.
I think there's a way a 5 clubber happens.
I feel like it will be with merit. With merit, in my opinion. I feel like we shift some players sideways to another club, and they shift some picks to Essendon, and maybe.
Like, I don't think it happened, right? But could you imagine a trade that consists Merritt, Curnow, Marshall, Petrarca?
And Jamar in there just for shits and gigs.
But Dramara isn't going to be a trade. Like, he won't be.
I think they'll do it so they
he
can
just
get a compensation.
Goes away. It's probably Humphrey would probably be part of yeah, it's gonna be tough. 4-player trade. I think we'll see part of a trade. 4 players, part of it. No,
is that part of a 5?
Probably not. Oh, if it's a 5-club trade, there'll be 4+ players part of it. 3+. It's really difficult to get 4+ players. I'm also just hoping. Like, I would love like a 6-club, 8-player trade.
I would love to see that too, but at the same time, I'm the one that has to read it out. So, like, it's going to be a lot of reading for me.
But
it'll be great cinema.
Trade deadline will be good. And then
when is it? Wednesday?
After that, we'll roll into the draft.
Wednesday, close of business?
Believe so.
Well, the next time you guys are going to hear...
Wednesday.
The next time you guys are going to hear our voice, we'll know all the answers by then. I can't wait to talk to you guys then. Wilbur will be back in the studio. Thanks for everyone that's listening to the pod, checking out the socials. Look out for some stealth and Nothing But Footy hoodies. But until then, we'll talk to you then.
See you guys.
It looks like that's the end of the Nothing But Footy podcast. Thanks very much for tuning in. Go ahead and check us out on all of our socials, and we'll see you on the next one.